agenda, additions to the agenda? Or deletions?
Well, it's pretty nice outside. I'd be good preparing it in.
So we have H4 correspondence, municipal affairs and housing. New business J3, Sydney Street extension.
Where was that?
The extension, that's the back thing, right?
No. Where you putting it on?
Oh, J3, new business, sorry. And J4, Digby Housing letter of support. Anyone have anything else? If not, can we get an approval for the agenda?
So,
Seconder,
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Minutes of the previous meeting, April 4, 2022. Anything there, any errors there? If not, I'll ask for approval of the minutes.
so moved. Second or third or?
Whatever.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Special council meeting, April 19th, 2022. Motion to accept that.
Motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented for the special council meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Business arising from the minutes, an Altus Royal small-scale tidal power pilot project. I can't remember what we were gonna do with that. Does anybody?
I thought we were sitting no.
I thought you said no too.
Don't think there was.
Wasn't there gonna be a question just for some information sent off to one of the gentlemen that works at the municipality? I can't remember who it was. I wanna say it was maybe Terry, but just making up a name here.
Oh, Terry Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because,
think we talked about something about Terry
Cause
Thibodeau.
I thought Ben was gonna approach him, just to see.
Wasn't there a question if it had, if the tidal power project that was there now was going to be deconstructed and if that was going to be included in this new venture or if it was completely separate? There was a bunch of those sorts of questions at the time.
And I think Terry had a presentation with them as well, and that they had already decided to pass on it. So we were gonna get some information from him as to why they had decided to say no. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the gist of what we talked about.
Sounded familiar.
Well, we did talk about, if I remember right, of doing something out at the, over at the lake, doing something out of,
Yeah, 'cause
With the lake.
yeah.
Paul, I believe that's what you had brought up as an alternative to doing this, that if we were money behind this project, why not look at our own or what to do?
No, I will say that when we look back at the notes that we'd taken at the meeting, there was reference to bringing it forward to a special council meeting, or a joint council meeting, pardon me.
Council meeting.
Joint council meeting that we were gonna have with the municipality.
Right.
When I mentioned it to Ben, he said no, to hold off, so that's why it's coming back up today. 'Cause-
So in the
Tom.
meantime, did the municipality say?
And Tom's had contact with the folks from the title people.
I think, as far as I know, that's my understanding, I didn't speak directly to Jeff and asking that question. But my understanding from what the mayor told me, because I told him we were going to be putting this on the agenda because Napas wanted to know. And he sort of said, I'm not for it. And that's how we left it. And I said, well, all we want is, something to give, give them a decision.
So what are your wishes? This was set April 28th, last week. So it has been been sent through, the application, upon approval.
Well, I love the idea, and if we had the money that we didn't need for something else, I'd say do it. But I don't think we have the money to put towards that instead of some of our other needs that we've got.
All right, so at this time, we're not interested?
No.
Okay, so do we need a motion?
Yeah, yes.
So can I get a motion that, for that we won't,
I'll make a motion that we respectfully decline their ask.
second it?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, moving into the CAO report. She's all yours, Tom.
Okay. First thing on my report is the modified work week. So, I conducted a review of the modified work week based on the objective that was laid out in the policy. In February, before going on medical leave, the review consisted of issuing a questionnaire to all town hall staff and meeting with them individually to discuss their answers and to have a general discussion of the modified work week pilot. The results of the review revealed that a modified work week, while it had its advantages, also had its disadvantages. And during the pilot, we followed two options. One with Mondays and Fridays being off, and the other option, option B, is one Friday or every other Friday off for the teams. The consensus of the staff was that option B was their preferable option if they were to continue with the modified work week. However, some staff said that the modified work week had its issues with workload, staffing, and scheduling, especially when it comes to vacations and sick time due to the size of our staff. Although most staff like to have their Friday off, they would not want to see a modified work week not be available to staff and would like to have the option of participating in the modified work week as opposed to having it mandatory to participate. From my point of view as CAO, I concur with staff and that especially staff, the staffing issues and scheduling issues, that we had our trials and we didn't really deal with any vacation time during the pilot, right? Extensive vacation time. And basically, our staff is too small for this type of program. So, in my discussions with staff, I brought this earned day off program. And a lot of people were pretty in favor of it. So that's why I would recommend that we rescind the work week policy, or the council, and that it be replaced with the earned day off program. So the earned day off program is an arrangement where employees work a full day, but they can vary their working hours. These arrangements may include specific guidelines so that a core working day exists. An earned day off is usually arranged in advance with the employee and employer or supervisor, and a set range of start and finish times are established. Total work hours are not usually affected by this arrangement. A core working day would be defined as 8:30 to 4:30. So any staff had to be there 8:30 to 4:30. except when they have the day off, of course.
So do they get like one earned day off a month or 4 day earned day off or how?
Well, it's gonna depend on how many, and it's proposed that this be open and so that you can participate for a long time, you can participate for a short time, you know. And it can also be flexible enough to say, you know, if a individual wants to partake and they say, I want to have Fridays off, every other Friday off, then your schedule would work out,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
And if they decide, well, my day off is Wednesday, then I would like, I need Wednesdays off because I do this and that, or would like to do this or that, it can be Wednesday. It's, you know, it's more tailored to the individual.
Right.
And plus after taking into consideration the workload and making sure that you don't get into the same, where we have too many staff off all on the same day.
Right.
So I do know that, I think, my law enforcement officer, if we retain the modified work week as it is, he's already requested that he be exempt from taking part in it because he's finding that when he has his Fridays off, he's still getting phone calls and things, so he would much rather do his regular 5-day a week.
That makes sense.
So this earned day off is more geared to individuals as opposed to all staff, right? All staff can take part in it, but so basically, it's the start and the end of the day that you would add, you would either come in. So if you're gonna have a day off every 2 weeks, then you have to work 45 minutes more a day over those 9 days. That makes up, that's 7 hours. That's a 7-hour
So
day.
Tom, do you think it would be worthwhile doing the option B for the summer to see how the vacation's working, or it just wouldn't work at all?
I don't think it's gonna
Not
work.
at all.
I don't think it's gonna work because we're having issues now. And with sickness, I mean, with COVID being, we have one person now downstairs with COVID, so.
So do you want this for a trial period as well, or do you want to just adapt it?
This one is more, I would recommend that if we're gonna do anything like that, that we would adopt it, because basically it's a little bit different than the modified work week. It still comes with the same goal, you know, but it depends on the employee. And, you know, and they could pick any day, Monday to Friday,
Yeah, that
that
makes
they
sense.
want the retained day or earned day off, as opposed to everybody had to take the Fridays off,
Right.
right?
I guess I appreciate your effort in trying to accommodate for staff. But in reality, the administration is a Monday to Friday operation.
Yeah.
And the scheme you're describing to me sounds basically like a bank time scheme. When I think the real issue is, are we understaffed? Whether or not you had a modified work week or if you had an earned day off, whatever you wanted to call it, do we have enough staff to make Monday to Friday function in a vacation schedule system, in a, you know, whatever curveball you get thrown in there?
I appreciate you saying that,
I
because
think
actually
that's-
that
Yeah.
is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think in order, I kind of see the other side of it being open to a little bit of abuse. you know, if someone banks time and doesn't get a day 1 week, then do you pay them overtime for that hours? Do you know, all this.
No, it'll be a written agreement.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I mean,
but just opens that can of worms, you know what I mean?
yeah, well, you know, everybody that works in town hall works salary, right? So
Yeah.
there's no overtime paid, right? And any overtime that they put in is classed as time and lieu. So, you know, they use that time in lieu, and basically, they have to use that time in lieu in the fiscal year.
Yeah.
They can't bank it and leave it, bank it, and bank it, and bank it.
Right.
And this year, we know banking of their earned day off, they have to take the day off, right? But we know banking.
Do you have any idea how many employees are interested in the earned day off program?
They are interested. I know one for sure, 100%. And the other one, and the second individual would like the flexibility because there are different times of the year that he would like to be able to have an earned day off as opposed to
Right.
other times of the year because of his family life schedule. And so with school and that and kids and stuff, he said, you know, he has,
I hear you and I appreciate that. The reality in my world is someone still has to answer the phone.
yeah,
Work still has to get done, whether or not your employees would like a Tuesday off or would like a Thursday off. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, it's wonderful to have the flexibility, and if we had the staff to do that, that would be choice. But I don't think that's our reality.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think the thing is that we've got, you know, we've got one that said definitely that he didn't want to take part. And the other ones are, I know that one said that he didn't want to ensure that it was, that he didn't want to ruin it for the rest of the staff. So, but he said he was finding it difficult, you know, getting his work, even though working the extra hours. You know, that's one of the reasons that I didn't take part in the program because but what I sort of have adopted is something similar to the earned day off. And I get my hours in and my schedule, that's the other thing, you look at your schedule and what's coming up. And you can say, okay, I'm gonna take this day off because I've got the hours in. Right.
And then if you agree to go through with it, you could make it so that you're putting in there, someone can't request to use an earned day off when someone else is on vacation. And no, like first come, first serve. If you, Mike and Leslie all have an earned day off, then you pick Friday first. They can't pick a day that you've also taken.
That's right.
Got to schedule at least 2 weeks out, or
Yeah,
put in little things like that. And maybe call it like the Dan plan.
What?
The Dan plan. That's what we'll change the name of it to. Should we call it the Dan plan?
Would create animosity.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Well, yeah. The thing is, the main thing is that the earned day off program is a different. They've got a couple of policies from, that other people, other municipalities have used. And, you know, and they get it buttoned down pretty tight. And the thing is that anybody that's not a department, anybody, almost everybody is a supervisor, so. Your supervisor would have to okay it before I would okay it, right? Which meant they have enough people to, I mean, we always try to make sure, and I mean, we have a calendar that we all share, it's called a vacation calendar, but it's basically when people book vacations, and also sick time gets on there as well, or plane appointments or whatever. So,
And
Pretty
they're all
much
first
it.
come, first served anyway.
yeah, pretty much at a glance, you can look at your computer and say, okay, this week looks pretty good. There's nobody, and so an employee could say, I want Wednesday off, or whatever.
So, sort of getting back what you're saying, do we need another part-timer? Should we hire like a part-timer or a seasonal person, or?
Well, we already have a position posted for,
Or the coordinator, but,
Yeah.
no, but I mean, should there be another office staff member that, people are on vacations? I mean, someone's on vacation and you get an earned day, so you can't have it because someone's on vacation. Right? I'm just trying
I'm
to,
hearing even like just to go further, Mike, I'm hearing that even on modified work, when they worked long days, they didn't have enough time to get their work done.
right,
So is there overflow there that we could help by hiring
hire
part-timers?
another part-time person.
And I think that's more the cause, root of the cause.
And then you could get that earned day in then, right? Because they would have time to get their work done. and-
We have got approved for a student for under Canada Summer
Yes.
Jobs
Yeah,
for a position for downstairs.
But that might not be the caliber.
Yeah.
No, but it's gonna help.
it's gonna
Right,
help,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna help. And
I just keep going back to when we did that thing at NSCC, is it seemed staffing was an issue with numbers of people. Right, I mean, I always see the municipality with all these people, and go, what the heck to do when there's so many people, but there's a lot to do, right? So. And I'm just thinking to make it easier for you, right, for the staff downstairs to get their work done. I mean, it's hard for doing a budget, you gotta run out and work on the desk, or you're in the middle of something and someone comes in, and because someone's on vacation, you gotta run out and go to the desk. And
Yeah.
You guys always said there's always something hanging off the side of the desk, so, is it
yeah,
something
well,
that you
it's,
can review?
like I said, it's difficult in all organizations, that's for sure, but in an organization of our size, I mean, municipality, I mean, they've got more employees than they need.
So this summer job, can you maybe, I know you have a job description probably for that person anyway, is it something we can maybe hire someone for the winter time as well? Just go with that job description, see how it works out. Maybe that's the person we'll hire in the fall, like permanent type thing if we had to.
Well, I don't think you have to hire anybody else.
No,
You, I mean, it's, they're working their extra 45 minutes a day to get a day off after 2 weeks. I mean, and if there's only a couple that are interested in it, it shouldn't put a wrench into the.
oh, should we wrench into the earn thing now? I guess we're just going another step forward is, do we need something else? I mean, special constable, he'll never get a day off on a Friday or Monday, because that's when he's the
Because
most
he doesn't
busiest, right? Yeah, that's what I mean, like, it'll never happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I mean, I just
Yeah,
bringing it forward, and, I mean, right now, we're still under the old, pilot, it's supposed to end, but because I was off, I didn't get the report. So, the thing is, every day now, we're getting closer to summer and people are home on vacations and it is gonna make it more difficult under our present system.
Yeah.
So,
So you had mentioned that you had some stuff from other municipal units, so can we look at that at the committee of the whole? When's this trial and pilot end?
well, I guess whenever council says it's done, right?
So why don't we maybe look at that at committee of the whole, like how it works for other places, and then we can end at the end of May.
Yeah, you can
Go
add
into
the
the
meeting
area.
package.
Go into
Yeah,
the
I was thinking that probably try to end it by the end of May.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody got their day off that they were supposed to get.
2 days.
And then, because, 8:30 to 4:30, that's what people will be accustomed to. And, I mean, if you go this other thing, and like I said, it's only, I think they did in the municipality run into some issues with some employees because of, the fact that they were mandated to take part in the program. It wasn't voluntary.
Right.
Right? What I'm hearing from my employees is that they would like to be, they'd like to have that option. And like I said, it may only be for some, might only be certain periods of the year, which,
Are we hearing from the public works people?
Public Works sort of left them on their own, so to speak, so the Public Works, whatever seems to be working, everybody seems to be happy with how that's working. So basically, they're not under this same modified work week that we are, right? So they were out of the pilot because he already had something, but the model that he's using is almost the earned day off type model, right? So what I was hoping to do, if we were gonna make a move and go with earned day off, it would become a HR policy, and that would be eligible to all full-time employees, right? Right? And that's the other thing, be full-time, permanent full-time employees, right? Which means some are seasonal or permanent, but they're not full-time, right?
All right, so do you want us to rescind that, or do you want us to wait
Now, in
until?
order to rescind it, you gotta have somebody, you gotta have notice and all that, so, the thing is, I guess basically I want to know if you wanted me to drill down in this further, and then hopefully I can have something for committee of the whole, even a draft thing that the policy will sort of outline the program, right?
If we wait, just a timing question, if we wait until committee of the whole, does that give us enough time for notice to get it stopped by May? Yeah.
I think if I go down that tomorrow morning and tell them, you know, at the end of May, we're probably gonna be done. Everybody, we'll just make sure that everybody got the day off, that they earned, they have off, that's all. Once that cycle is done, then we'll be done. That's all we're gonna want to make sure. But, you know, we have, I guess, one other thing, we have our tax clerk, tax utility clerk, who usually is in here early every morning. Even when we were back, we were doing 5 days a week, she was always here 10 days, every day,
Or 7:30.
or 7:30, right? And she come in and because she could get some work done that she wanted to get done and things like that, and sometimes. And so the thing is, for her, she might want to be able to earn a day off. Right now, she's, you know, don't, hadn't
Taken.
earned days off, but she has earned because she put the time in, right? And I've never told her that, you know, she needed a day off at any time. But this is just putting it into policy and practice, like, that's, but, you know, so, that, and it gives the person to, the other option is, if they're a morning person, for an extra 45 minutes or an hour, whatever it is, they may want to do it in the morning, put in an hour earlier in the morning, and leave at 4:30 with everybody else.
Right.
And then there could be somebody that can't get here until 8:30 and want to work till 5 or 5:30, right? Because whether we're open to the public or not, that's where the core hours come in, the business hours, right?
Probably gets more done in that hour in the morning than she does all day.
Yeah, well,
No one
because
noticed.
usually, and I mean, she takes, you know, when she's here, she takes some calls, right? She picks up the phone. She's not one of these ones that looks at the clock, waits till it hits 8:30 and then picks up the phone. That phone rings, she picks it up, and she's here to answer it, she'll answer it. So,
And that's what you like anyway.
So I guess we'll go with the plan that you can inform her in the morning, and then we'll take it from there,
next item is the community development coordinator, so the advertisement has been placed. And resumes and cover letters will be accepted until 12 p.m. Friday, May 13th. So to date, I think we have received one resume from an individual from Alberta. The resume is, how many pages? 59?
Yeah, it was like 50-some pages, yeah.
definitely a grant person. Wow.
So, Tri-County Regional Planning Service, so the RFP for the consulting services for first phase closed on March 21st. The 4 proposals from the following proponents were received: C&D Community Design, Group ATN Consulting, Prairie Wild Consulting, and Scantech Consulting. The steering committee made up of CAOs Jeff Sullivan from MAUD, Victoria Brooks from Modi, Trudy Payne from MAUDS, and Chris Frotton from, I'll say Barrington. They evaluate each of them based on the scoring matrix, including the RFP, and shortlisted both Group ATN and Stantec. Then had interviews with both, and based on all the information and discussions, they recommend to award the contract to Group ATN Consulting Incorporated. They feel that Group ATN has a solid understanding of our vision, and they have a wealth of knowledge and experience in developing and navigating intermunicipal partnerships of this nature. So a virtual meeting of the participating CAOs was held on May 27th. Yeah, it should have been April. To discuss the proposals and the steering committee recommendations. So the consensus was that Group ATN Consulting be awarded the contract. Total cost of this project, phase of the project, is $50,980 exclusive of HSQ. So the CAOs also discussed reaching out to the other 3 municipal units that are not currently part of the project. The consensus was to reach out to the municipality of the District of Clare and encourage them to join the project. The other two that are not is the town of Yarmouth, and they're not gonna budge because they've got a whole planning hierarchy there, so. And the other one was town of Clark's Harbor, which is a very, very small town, so. So the marketing levy, so there have been some legal complications with the marketing levy, and I'll provide more details in the in-camera session. What's taking place there. Asset management, the AIM project kickoff meeting, so I attended a Zoom asset management kickoff meeting along with Matthew Raymond, Director of Finance, and Aidan McCormick, Director of Public Works. We reviewed the project schedule and the required staff time and information required. Director of Finance will be the town's lead on this project with oversight from the CAO, and the Director of Public Works providing asset information. The NSFM Mayor's Warden and CAO meeting, and that was April 27th by Zoom. The discussion was on non-resident deed transfer and property taxes. So there were no provincial government representatives present at the meeting, although they had been invited to participate. Some of the discussion items were lack of consultation with municipalities and or NSFM. Province has skated into our tax lane with no input from us. No consultation on major impact issue for our municipalities. NSFM feels there was a lack of communication between them and the province on all issues lately, and how the NSFM and or the municipality initiate discussions with the province. I think that there's going to be a lot more coming forward on that issue. That's my report.
All right, G2, DP area recreation.
Reports in the package. Answer any questions you may have.
We had the volunteer ceremony, went very well. Good turnout.
Yes.
Good. Nice spot to have it, actually.
It is.
All right, committee of the whole report. So, I have a few recommendations. Anybody wants to start making some motions?
The first one. Council approved to find funding for the community navigator position for the term of 3 years in the amount of $26,750 per year.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'll make a motion that the application for the DCAP funding for engineering services to upgrade all services on Church Street from Victoria Street to King Street.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'll move that we continue the application for the PCAP funding for engineering services to upgrade all services on King Street from Racket Road to Prince William Street.
Seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Creditor and we move that we sponsor the spring December event for $250.
I'll second that.
Question. That $250 for sponsorship, we were gonna look at doing a marketing thing, all right? It wasn't, here's $250. Is that right? Or are we just gonna sponsor 250? Thought we were gonna try to get a better bang for our buck with that.
So I reached out to the municipality
Okay,
and they had already done the 250.
okay,
So I said, well, maybe we'll just do ours independent then, but I did reach out to Jeff just to double check.
All right,
And that's, yeah,
okay.
And does that include our booth?
no, our booth is separate,
Separate.
but I am working on the booth, so.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carried.
There'll be lots coming in.
All right, next one.
Oh, it was your turn.
My turn, okay. That the acting chief administrative officer salary be adjusted to step 5 of the director's salary scale during the absence of the CAO.
Second,
Second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So now we have to step down to do a resolution to make it our priority for
Yeah,
the.
2 resolutions there
Two
for
resolutions.
each of those. Each of those PCAP
Okay.
things need to have a resolution.
Yeah, so the first PCAP, if you could start, be it there resolved.
So is this a separate is this part of the first?
No, these are separate. Each one of those is gonna be a separate.
Separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone could start at be it therefore resolved.
Be it therefore resolved, the town council of the town of Digby identify the replacement upgrade of the water distribution system, wastewater main and laterals and installation of stormwater mains located on King Street, Record Road to Prince William Street project as a priority under the provincial capital assistance program. And further be it resolved, that the town of Digby council commits funding for its share of the project.
All in favor?
Seconder
Right, seconder?
and the vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Second one. Be it resolved. Sean?
I can touch first. Be it therefore resolved, the town council of the town of Digby identify the replacement upgrade of the water distribution system, wastewater main and laterals and installation of the stormwater mains located on Church Street, Victoria Street to King Street project as a priority under the provincial capital assistance program. And further be it resolved, the town of Digby council commits funding for its share of the project.
Seconder?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you very much. Moving to correspondence.
Now, I did send an email today, I don't know if everybody got it, but I did put the wrong data report in the packet. So I emailed, okay, sorry about that.
And I forgot to do that, thank you. Digby Area Tourism Association report.
Yeah, that report from the data came in today. And I sent it to you this morning, and that's why it's late.
Yeah, and I accidentally put the previous months in with the package, so.
All right. Correspondence, Society of Friends of Faro. There's a letter thanking them for our donation to our grant. Property Valuation Services Corporation. Sort of explaining, it wasn't that. And International Day Against Homophobic and Transphobia. We'll go to that because there's a request on that. I believe. Is there not?
Yes.
All right, what's your wishes there?
I think we should do it. That's my opinion.
So we would have to order the flag, right?
So I guess we don't have to make a
So
motion.
we don't do resolutions, is that correct, Tom?
No.
We don't.
Unless,
We have to have a motion to spend $15.
For a flag.
well, we've already have Pride flag in stock, we have two. And I wish we got. I know the ones that we got must be better quality, or they want to be better quality than
Yeah.
one here for $15, because
Flags aren't cheap.
flags aren't cheap to begin with. It's plenty of money.
Is there, I think there's a difference between the LGBTQ flag and the pride flag.
That was my
So
question.
we ordered from the flag shop. Tom, you were talking to Joe, but it's like an all-inclusive flag. So it's not that,
It's almost when we done this thing down there,
Oh,
we had
crosswalk.
extra colors.
this one looks different, because the,
One has pink in it.
well, this almost has like a little triangle at this end, and then all the colors that go this, like it's
I haven't seen it, I've never seen it.
I mean, it's really pretty, but it's just different than what I would call a pride flag, so maybe that's the difference.
So for $15, it's only 2 weeks anyway, right? We put it up.
Our policy
Our
says.
policy is 2 weeks, so,
So the transgender flag, just on Google,
yeah.
it's blue and at the top and the bottom with pink, and then middle is white. So that's transgender, and the pride flag is multicolored rainbow, and it has like a corner triangle.
Yeah, that's the one we
combination.
ordered, yeah, that's the one we ordered.
So it's a combination of both. It's good.
So do we just go with what they're requesting and do the $15 flag?
I think we use our own.
Excuse me.
We have one in stock. I mean,
So maybe respond on that what flag we do have, and then
We can double check and see if the flag that we have
Yeah.
matches what they're looking for.
that's what they're looking
But
for.
they might have those subsidized, which is why we're giving them, or selling them for $15.
Yeah. All right.
Right now, apparently the federal government is giving lots of money to organizations like them for promoting festivals, so.
All right, so we don't need a motion to do that. This policy. All right, H4 is, I guess I probably should have been into business,
What's that?
the housing or Digby, the letter of support.
Yeah, that's where you put it, isn't it?
We'll put it as H4, we can move it to J5.
Okay, so there's another one here. Sorry. This one.
Minister,
Ministers, actually, this one. Oh,
not
yeah. Yeah. Everyone's had a chance to read that. Why would they put $2 in there for one thing? $2.
one thing, renegotiation of the memorandum of understanding with municipalities. I sort of got a little smile when I read that, some of the things that they're looking at in the municipal financial capacity grants in lieu of municipal taxes, local roads and other departments. Education, including sewer and wastewater for schools.
Yeah. Depending on which town you're in.
Yeah. So, housing, policing, and mandatory contributions. So,
Sounds like NSF is going to be busy.
well, you know, this here, and the other thing, the capacity grant, like they doubled it last year. And because it said that, the mandate letter directed the minister to double the equalization payment for the first year until a new memorandum of understanding can be reached. And then they're telling us that memorandum of understanding It's gonna be
Change.
down the road sometime. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. Right, so then they're gonna flip us right back to where we were, where it was frozen.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be a fall NSFM conference this fall?
I believe,
Yeah.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting convention, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Because they'll have to, that's when you elect your president and all that stuff, so.
It's usually about October. So, usually a few days before Halloween, I believe it is. Going on. All right, move into new business, budget meeting dates.
Okay. So the capital budget, there's a draft of the capital budget that I put on the slide today. And you can find it,
That's what I was gonna ask, where was that?
you can find it under budgets, there's a folder called budgets. And inside that folder, there's another folder called draft 2022-23 budgets. You click on that, and there's only one inside in that folder, and that's the capital budget or the CIP,
Okay.
capital investment plan. So, reason that we wanted to put it out is because the first meeting on the capital budget will be a good discussion meeting, and lots of input from council on things that should be there that aren't there, or things that shouldn't be there, or that type of thing. And so it allows you in your leisure to review it and go over. And if anybody wants a printed copy, we can but in an effort to save the environment, and a couple more trees, I thought we'd try it this way first.
That's a good idea. Date?
So we gotta work some dates. There was an original timetable that was set by the director of finance. Hit some snags in that mainly because of COVID, and Public Works was practically shut down for over a week. And so that meant, and the director had COVID, so him and Matthew couldn't work on the budget, so we need that, and then we're gonna, the operating budget is taking shape, so hopefully, depending on what goes on with Matthew's mother, he said he should be able to get something so we can have our first meeting probably next week sometime, not a week from now. So I know everybody will want evening meetings, I assume.
Preferably.
Matter.
Yes. So, anybody get any dates in this week or next week for the capital budget? I don't know how long the mayor's gonna be in Mobile, but
It's next Monday, like, for everyone.
Can make it work.
Monday night?
The ninth, you're saying?
Aye. Yeah.
Works for me.
6 PM or
yeah,
5:30 PM or?
that should be all right.
6, all right.
Because people have to get home from work, some of us have to go and find rub tags somewhere.
All right,
That's for the capital.
that's for the capital, okay.
Then maybe we can determine how well we do that one, then we can determine if we want to do another capital one. So,
So you say 6 o'clock or 5:30?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, yeah.
So what about operating budget?
Anybody good that Wednesday, 11th
What, Thursday?
or 12th?
I prefer the 12th to the 11th.
May 12th, May 12th, yeah. May 12th.
Same time?
Same time, same place.
We'll do the same thing with the operating, to see how many more. We're still get our sights on, hopefully getting budgets passed for that June meeting.
On the way, for recreation commencing 14th to the 20th. That week after that, 16th, sorry, 16th to the 20th. Week later. But I can definitely Zoom, because the meetings are over at 5:30 anyway, so I can Zoom if we decide something that week. So,
Well, the 16th is probably gonna be out because we have a lot going on that week. We have the public hearing,
public hearing.
and we've got,
Yeah, that's continuing the whole, so there won't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got three proposed meetings
Yeah,
that night.
for that night.
We got a public hearing, then committee of the whole, and then a special council meeting.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think that's the order that we put them in.
Yes, we do.
Because, that way, if there's anything that comes up to committee of whole that needs ratification at council, we can get done, or needs immediate ratification, we can do it at a special council along with the, second reading and final reading of
Okay, so we've got May 9th and May 12th next week.
Yeah.
All right. Moving into Digby Area Theater Society, it's a request in their package. We did save some funding in their grants to organizations. Something tells me there's about $3 grand there, roughly.
Just as an information,
Yeah.
the mayor and I have been working with the rec center and trying to see if we could get the facility donated for their September play. It'll be a big chunk of their cost, as well as the theater technician. I would donate my services. So that was eliminating a lot of their building they would have left to be the rights to play, what the play they're gonna do. But it's a slow process because they're in the middle of trying to renegotiate community use of schools.
And I know, I don't know if the tech can be done by someone else before it had to be by a certain person. So I don't know if that's changed or not.
No, I'm certified, I've been doing it for years.
Oh, I know, but I understand that, but I think there's a policy in the school where it's only a certain person that can do that, is it not?
I think they've eliminated that, they bypassed it.
That's all.
You helped out with one of the recent ones, or the
For a
students
long
did.
while, it was Rupert, and then
Yeah.
he trained me and Matthew Henshaw and one of the fellow he moved up to. But yeah, I've been doing it.
No, I just wanted to make you aware, just in case, I didn't know that you were training
Yeah.
that over there. So, no, that's good.
But-
So,
But I can add some more context to this, that they had talked to me before, when we had our normal grants. But at that point in time, they didn't have an actual play set up to ready to go. So they didn't want to apply for something not knowing when it would be. They, like any other organizations, have had an increase in, well, a lot of their costs, but mostly the biggest one was insurance. So the big thing for them is having enough money to, get the, get the scripts. I think they've got a play in mind. It's, I don't know if I should say which one it is. It's, yes, Savannah Civic Society. They have a director for it. They just need the cost of getting those. That would be a big step. We've got money from a couple different local organizations to help push them this far. And really they're trying to go over the finish line to actually be able to put on a performance and get some revenue in to help pay for their own costs.
They haven't been able to exercise their bread and butter for 3 years.
So are you suggesting that we wait until you and the mayor take steps, or do we?
Well, we have till September,
Okay.
so we have some time.
Well, I'll counter that with, they will have some bills in the interim that I'm sure if we were to consider any amount, they'd appreciate it.
Circumventing the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry at that. Always in some place for a reason.
Yeah. So, what would you like to do? Tom, do you have any idea what's left in the, I thought it was about 3,000 less. I see a list somewhere, I see a list somewhere.
I can see it.
I'm sure if you look at
It's
our meeting minutes, we approved 38,300, I think.
That's right.
I just can't remember what was actually there.
In the meantime, though, there was a small bit of it, but we used some for the Ukrainian flag.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
I guess we did 500, I believe.
with the 250 that we're doing for the other thing earlier, I come over that as well.
Bringing this out.
Yeah.
I think that's under advertising, would it be the sponsor? Yeah, it'd be under advertising.
Looks like there's 3,500 remaining.
3,500.
That was before the Ukraine. Yeah.
So 3,000.
Because I don't see the Ukraine donation.
So, things do come up. And we do have a little bit left. So it's, I guess it's what you want to do with it.
Well, I can't vote on that on the board, so.
You're on the board of the
Have you
theater.
approached the municipality?
Yeah, they actually got money, they got funding from them last year.
But they didn't approach this.
No, because in their funding, what they stated to them was they wanted to put on 2 plays. They were hopeful last year they put them on. So until they put on those 2 that they've committed to, they don't plan on reapproaching them for more funds.
Just following COVID funding
Would it fall into COVID funding?
organization.
Actually, based on what Matthew had given us for the description last time, it's events that weren't able to happen. So it may very well be something that could fall under that. Maybe that's an idea to look at is speak to Matthew and see if there's potential, well, we've got the money there, see if that's something we can use towards helping out.
You want to do that? See what happens
If
there.
they can
and
do
then-
it, I would be in favor
Yeah.
of fulfilling the request.
Okay, so we'll check with Director of Finance to see if it qualifies under COVID funding. And then if it doesn't, we'll bring it back to the next meeting. Because you said they have until September. But I mean, we don't want to delay that because events are events, it's gotta go on, right? We need to know too, but at the same point, we do have date deadlines.
Do you know, Tom, if the COVID fund safe restart money would cover that?
No. But if it was me, I'd spend it.
Well, I would too.
Yeah, because if they ever ask for it back, we'll say, sorry, we've already spent it, so if we don't spend it, they'll probably want it back.
Other organizations.
So can we make a motion to take it out of the COVID fund? Or should we wait just to clarify it?
Just wait.
Yeah.
So at the bottom of what he sent us during the last meeting, it has recreation facility entrance fees. So depending on what you'd consider the theater as recreation, entrance fee would be a ticket cost. That's how I'd spin that anyway.
We'll hold off for 2 weeks and we have done the meeting.
Yeah, like I say, absolutely. Yeah.
3 weeks later.
There seems to be some theater groups throughout the province that get COVID funding.
So, some of them that, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, we'll just check with Matthew and just to confirm. I mean, it's better to check and maybe do the whole thing rather than just 1,500 or something, right? A percentage. I'm sure they'd rather have the whole royalty and script than just $1,000 or something.
My only question with that would be, is it American or Canadian?
So,
Just a question of where they're getting their script from.
oh,
Is this that Canadian fund?
this says Canadian here.
That's
That's Canadian here, but Nova Scotia.
Although I have a feeling with the Savannah Civic Society, it might be American.
Yeah. All right, so we'll take that to the next meeting after we find out from Matthew. Sydney Street Extension, I had a visitor today. One of the citizens that live right on the corner up there. And I did ask Tom to print this out for you. There's a path that goes up between Queen and Second Avenue. And it's an extension of Sydney Street actually. And it's used quite a bit by the way it's wore down and things. So basically we were just asking if we could clean it up and maybe put a path, like a designated path down there to clean it up type thing, so.
You're talking a path, not a road.
No path, walking path, yeah. You can't put too much there because there's probably infrastructure under there. I know Roy Harding wants to do a look off or something at one point, but I think that's why we couldn't, because you have to get to the sewer and water and all that, it goes down that street, I believe.
12-inch water main is like that there.
So we couldn't do much to it, but we could put glass or something down a nice walkway, so. We can check with that,
Isn't that what Mr. Mullin tried to do? Yep, that's what Mr. Mullin wanted to do, and
Yeah.
wanted volunteer the time to do it. And we had the neighbors down here beating down the door because he was cutting their trees down.
on our street.
Well, on the Queen Street corner, you can see in that picture, looking at Queen Street now, looking up the hill.
The one that has the craft show.
Yeah, we're back craft store down there, and
Yeah.
those trees up there that he had cut so people would walk under them,
Yeah.
and said that he had no right to cut their tree. And I said, I think the tree is on the town's land.
Just from that picture, just
And I don't think that they wanted people going up and down there anyway. And the one on, at the top of the hill on Second Avenue, on the same side, was the same thing, but there are different people there now.
People are now, yeah. Well, obviously, people are walking down it.
Yeah.
They're beating the dead fast, so you might as well.
Mr. Mullin was concerned that, that somebody may either get hurt or somebody get attacked or something, right? So unfortunately, I had to have him cease and assist for a bit, but the Sheriff's Council, that's what we should do.
Yeah.
Is make it a walking trail.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want it wide enough so somebody will come and try to come down through there with a vehicle.
Yeah. Or an ATV, you'll still
Yeah,
probably
even-
you'll need
even
the rocks
ATV,
there or something anyway, yeah.
Even ATV.
Yeah.
So,
All right, is everyone in favor of that, or?
Yeah. You're gonna take it to Public Works and ask them
We
what
can
kind
kind
of
of
work.
see if we can do it, and
Should we get an estimated cost on it, or just seems like it would be a small enough project that it would be fine to do?
Yeah, well, most of it, I mean, I guess the biggest, some of it'll be labor, labor that we're probably paying for anyway.
Okay, so then, you know, cut a couple loads of
Yeah.
Class A and,
It's, it would be, not a real rainy day job, but it would be a job and
yeah, not a
they
project
fit in
type thing.
between.
Aren't you allowed to cut, stupid question, if the tree's on my neighbor's property and there's branches on my property, am I allowed to cut those branches on my property and hand over?
you can.
Huh?
I believe you can.
Yeah.
I had that discussion with AVR before they decided to cut
What's
the
the
whole
legal
trees.
expression? When your property line is, you own from the gates of hell to the heights of heaven.
You know, all that airspace.
All right.
And, but, yeah, the thing is, some neighbors don't take kindly to
No.
that shit.
I don't dare touch it, but I'm just, when I look at this, well, he's only touched the ones that they would walk under. But if it's the whole thing,
You can make a nice little path down there.
that'd be a nice back there,
Clean it up a little bit.
yeah.
You gotta work a little bit better with town employees.
There's a matches under this one too, right? So,
Yeah.
I hope so.
Mr. Irvine, or,
There you go.
he went to, Illinois too.
Okay.
He actually talked to me a couple weeks ago at this gas station. He was getting gas, and I was getting gas. He said, I gotta come in someday and talk to you about Sinton Street. And I said, okay. But I said, I'm not to work. I'll be back in a couple weeks. So he waited a couple weeks or so, but then he went to Ed instead of me. And then Ed told him to go to a counselor or whatever, or to come down here, right? So, anyway.
All right.
Mr. Mullen will be very happy.
Mr. Mullin will be happy. You might even want to help. There you go.
Well, I mean, Bonnie Lane.
He'd be delighted.
Uh,
He's very concerned with that area.
He is very concerned.
Yeah.
He doesn't even live there either.
No, but he watches that area a lot and he means well.
Yeah. Yeah, he
He,
does.
he paid me a visit.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, he said he got in trouble.
Quite upset.
Yes.
All right, well, that's good. Digby Housing, letter of support. Nancy talked about it. Just got a pretty serious, we did just get it.
Hmm?
I just got a pretty serious, we just got it tonight.
Just mention the price.
It's just a letter of support.
I know.
Yeah.
When they were exploring the one up here, we give them a letter. It's just a general letter that we're aware of
Let it
what they're doing, and then we're supportive of what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. So it's not real, there's no commitment on, council isn't committing anything.
But do we need to, seems like every time there's a new proposal or a new project, they're asking us for what, have we shown our support to them for whatever the project is? Or do they have to keep
They probably need it for the bank.
specifically saying?
I think that they need it because now what she told me on the phone was that, that they, the sale is a private sale, it's not through real estate or anything. So she didn't tell me what price or anything. But she said that they had the down payment and they were looking for financing, right? And they were going to
Cast the puppy out.
CBDC.
CBDC. So I think that's what they need, the children need the letter of support, so they're aware that the town is aware of the project.
I make a motion that we send them a letter of support.
Second. All in favor?
Right?
Opposed? Motion carried.
I mean, we're, you know, if it comes to fruition, we're definitely gonna be quite involved through zoning and that type of issue. I mean, right now, she's just throwing things at the wall, see what will stick and what falls off, but, I told her, you need to, you know, once, you know, they know that they're gonna be able to acquire it and whatever, then we need to have a good idea so they can guide them as to what they need to do to get the zoning correct, right? Because it could be, probably it'll end up being a development agreement. It's a commercial zone, and it's in the commercial zone, it's commercial downtown, so, and if they turn it into apartments, then it'll probably be a development agreement.
I think their thought is to keep some of them as rentals for an income and develop some others into apartments and mixed use, I think. Like you say, they have to strike a committee and have a representative and et cetera, et cetera.
Well, it helps them get self-sustainable, that's for sure. They're good.
Right.
It's ideal that way, that's for sure. All right, we are all done, regular business. Now we're going to move into camera.
Motion to move into camera.
Seconder.
Sure.
Do we need, do you want to do a motion on that capital, or do you want to go with,
The motion to go
go, yeah, right.
I just made a note. Moved
Yeah,
it to
right.
camera.
Right. If someone wants to make that motion, we can make that motion.
I'll make that,
Motion for the
yeah,
cement walkway at the Digby Station.
Approve the capital,
For the capital, 17.
Yeah.
17, what?
No, something right.
Yeah.
17.5.
18.6, just put a little extra in there.
Right there, seconder. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Nothing else? Motion for adjournment?
Mr. Shooter.
I must get home like I need.
It's always on.